Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Smiley, and today I just wanted to do a really quick video because next week on Wednesday is the Google event where they'll be announcing the new Pixel phones. So I just wanted to do a quick rundown of my wish list for this year's models because I do have a year's worth of experience with the phone. Been carrying it for a year now. I love this thing. I think it's a great phone. You can see I got the dragon skin, D-brand skin on here. Yeah, let's go through my Google Pixel 2 wish list. First and foremost, I think this is the most important thing in any phone being released this year: bezel-less display. Now, I don't mean full bezel-less like the iPhone 10 did. I mean more like something along the lines of what Samsung did with their bezels, because that phone looks gorgeous. And I mean, this thing has an incredibly large chin. I mean, look at all this space up here and down here that this thing takes up. It's pretty ridiculous. So I'd very much like to see a bezel-less display in the Pixel 2s. Another thing I would really love to see in the next phone is waterproofing and dust proofing. Okay, so I ride my Segway around most of the time. I don't drive a car around if I'm just going around the neighborhood. It's easier that way. I only use my car if I'm going like to El Mirage or Payson or Chandler or something like that. If I'm actually going somewhere that's more than like 2 miles away, I'm in my car, but most of the time I'm on my Segway because I'm just going up to like Safeway or to get a burger from McDonald's or something like that. And when monsoon season comes here, I have to keep my phone in a bag, and that's really annoying. So some waterproofing would be super awesome. I'm honestly shocked that last year's Pixel didn't have it because every phone coming out in 2016 seemed to have waterproofing of some kind. Hell, even the iPhone 7, which came out last year, had waterproofing, and that was the first iPhone that Apple officially waterproofed. So Google, I'd really like to see it this year. It's a little late, better late than never. Next is not as important as the waterproofing, but definitely a creature comfort that I would really like to see on the next phone, and that is wireless charging. I hate to keep going back to Apple, but even Apple implemented Qi wireless charging this year, back at their event in September where they announced the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10. So if the next Google phone, you know, what is essentially the flagship Android phone, doesn't have some kind of wireless charging, I'm gonna be very disappointed. That won't be a deal breaker for me as long as it has the waterproofing, because I mean, waterproofing to me is just really important, because I don't know, I have a fear of dropping my phone into like my toilet or something like that where I'm just gonna completely fuck it up, and I don't want to do that. So, you know, if we don't get the wireless charging, I'd be okay with it, but I'd really love to see it in this year's Pixel, because goddamn, it was super useful when I was using a Qi adapter on my iPhone 6 Plus, back when I was using that about 2 years ago. And it was really convenient when I was using it on my iPhone 6 Plus. I had a Qi adapter for my iPhone 6 Plus about 2 years ago. So I really liked wireless charging. I'd like to see it. Let's move on. This is the Nexus 6P. This one doesn't work anymore because I slammed it into a car door, but this was the Pixel before the Pixel. As I'm sure most of you know, the Pixel line of phones wasn't always called the Pixel line. It used to be called the Nexus, and that was Google's flagship Android phone, essentially. But this guy, which was the last version of Nexus before the Pixel got released, had 2 front-facing speakers right here. And holy shit, this phone had some of the best sound I've ever heard come out of a smartphone. And I mean ever. I loved this thing when it came to music or watching YouTube videos. It was awesome. So Google, front-facing stereo speakers. Say it with me. Front-facing stereo speakers. Love to see them. They were kick-ass in the Nexus 6, and seriously, I mean, is it really that hard? It's 2017. Put the speakers in the fucking front of the phone. Next up, this isn't something I'd like to see them add to the phone, it's just something I'd like them to keep on the phone, and that is the headphone jack. Now, if you guys remember last year when the Pixel came out, they had this whole part of their ad campaign that said a 3.5mm headphone jack that's satisfyingly not new, because that was the year Apple dropped the headphone jack, and Google was making fun of them like, hey, look, no, we kept the headphone jack. So if they decide to go ahead and drop the headphone jack a year after that marketing campaign that they put out for the last line of Pixels, I will be extremely disappointed, and I think it would be a hypocritical move. When Apple dropped the headphone jack, it made everyone think they needed the headphone jack. Now, I'm not saying I need the headphone jack, I'm just saying it's nice to have the option, because I don't always carry Bluetooth headphones, and if I need to stop in a Circle K so I can grab a pair of buds real quick and listen to some music on the way home, home, I'd like to have the ability to do that without carrying a fucking adapter in my pocket. So let's keep the headphone jack. Next, the first Pixel had the fastest camera I've ever used on a smartphone. So I would really like to see that speed come back on the next Pixel with better pictures. Not that the Pixel took bad pictures. They were great. They were fantastic. In fact, they're the best pictures I've ever taken on a smartphone. However, I would love to see a 4K 60 FPS camera in this thing like that's in the iPhone 8. Oh, and a better selfie camera. Another thing I would really like to see in the next Pixel phone is more RAM. And I'm talking like 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM. I would love to see just a huge amount of memory in this phone. Because I do a lot of multitasking, and I do think it helps keep the phone real buttery smooth, especially when you're trying to do a lot of the picture-in-picture stuff that Google's been implementing with Android Oreo. So yeah, more RAM, that'd be really cool. The next thing is expandable storage. Now, this one probably won't happen because companies just like slipping your money out of your pocket $1 at a time. Actually, it's more like $100 at a time. But I would really like to have the ability to upgrade my storage after I buy the phone. If Google wants to sell a 64 and a 128 gigabyte model, that's cool. But throw in an SD card port so that once I fill up that 128 gigs, I can throw another 128 in there and have 256. Or I could throw 256 in there and make 4... I don't know how to math right now, but I'm sure you do, so do the math in the comments below. So yeah, I'd love to see a place for expandable storage on the Pixel 2. Probably won't happen, but this is my wish list, and I wish it, so I'm gonna put it onto the list. And finally, something that not everyone may want, but I certainly want, I want a more defined Google logo on the back of the phone. So mine's covered with a skin right now, but if you do take a look at it, that Google logo looks great. It's got the Google colors in it. I mean, I'm not that great with applying the skins, so, you know, it's a little off, but just imagine if that red, yellow, green, and blue was built, like, on the Google G when you bought the phone already. I think that would be really cool. I also think it might be cool if they went down the Apple route and made their logo shiny. Just more defined on the back of the phone. I want to be able to see the Google G, because, you know, I can always cover it up with a skin or something like that. A more defined logo on the back of the phone, and I'd like to see no FCC labels or anything like that, like the iPhone's done over the last couple years. So just a cleaner, more distinct design, basically. And that's really all I got. That's my Pixel 2 wish list. I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching. Please leave a like on this video if you liked it. Leave a dislike if you didn't like it. Leave me a comment down below letting me know what you're excited for from the Pixel 2 announcement. It's October 4th, Wednesday. I'm crossing my fingers that at least most of this stuff will be on this phone. So let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you want to see at the Google announcement in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Have a great week, everyone. Keep it kosher. Peace.